important month of the upcoming year. So we are in a scheme of things from the month of the dragon into the month of the snake, then the month of the horse. And I would say this is the high dynamic and high expression of this particular year of the 2024 of the young bull dragon year. And I'm so happy to see so many people. So greetings from, I'm still in Florence, but again, I'm going to be going places. Just came back from US, going to be back in Europe, going to Latvia for summer solstice. Then I'm going to be in month of August, I'm going to be in California. So contact and plan your consultations and revising the projects timely. So, and I will start the presentation about, so formally, let's begin. Right, so this is the Feng Shui Connect, our June 6th presentation. We're going to be discussing some of the things regarding the current chi nodes, the astrology, summer solstice, as well as some correlation based on some of the clients' interests regarding the Feng Shui and the numbers, or are there any lucky numbers or non-lucky numbers? And I was also share maybe little blurs of the latest small project that I took up and used the Feng Shui. So I'm going to share my screen. And share. And there we are. All right, summer solstice is coming up. I don't know how many of you are celebrating summer solstice, but it's a very, very important time of the year. But today I would like to start with our charts that you can, those who are very eager to follow up with the lucky days of the June, July, August, September. There is the sequence of certain kind of magical days, I would say. Sometimes when we are deciding to sign the contracts or moving or making the like a bigger decisions, like initiating certain things. So this is what these dates might mean. In June, there's a 10th, 12th, 15th, 20th, 21st, 23rd, 26th. If you notice that some of the days are very, very kind of the deep, like a bold looking, these are what's called the juicy days. Take full advantage. Let's say if you need to really plan and you have a choice of signing the contract, for example, or doing something significant or initiating, let's say making the bank deposit or any of those reasons, you can feel free to do so and use these dates in any and for the sake of for upcoming year, we decided to, I included every single month from the now on until the end of the year. You can kind of stash these numbers, save it for, and use it as you wish. Okay. And we are still considering because of the flying stars influence in a 2024, kind of reminding you that upcoming, like the directionality in the West, for example, is still make sure you are not collecting clutter and keeping it quiet, keep it beautiful, not upsetting the Flying Star 5, and enjoying yourself. So when the energy is reset based on form and there's no any other kind of neglect aspects to it, I would not consider that will be any issues or any problems. Okay. So how do I go to my next slide? There it is, summer solstice. So as you know, the main biggest reason when we are looking at the summer, so it's a pivotal moment in the solar system in connection to the Earth. We are experiencing the longest day and the shortest night. Obviously, that's we are most embraced and absorb with the light. So summer solstice in the northern hemisphere really starts on a June 21st, but some cultures are delaying. And for example, like in Latvia, our biggest celebration is from the 23rd to 24th. That's like St. John's, like my father also named Yanis or St. John. So there's a lot of events take place. One of them is like sleepless night. So there's no time for going to sleep, because you really are providing the elegance of the letting the sun kind of settle, but be ready to receive the new day. Embracing magic. So that's one of the summer solstice time. Embracing the magic is also to purging and purifying. One of the rituals that we do in Latvia is like if we weave the crown from the year before, that is the time when we are going in the fields, we creating the crowns from the wildflowers, and we burning the past year crown as an omelette, like as a purging on with the fire or the bonfire. But when we talk about, you probably have seen this slide before, because I've been presenting and correlating to we talk about the Big Dipper or seven stars. And this is from my travels in China. This is a seven-star park and the mountain. Basically, when you are on a bird's eye view, you actually can see the formation of the peaks that create the pattern of the seven stars. There's just some rooftops that we could encompass the same signature of the kind of reverse swastika. Why does it even came about? And I don't know how many of you know, but this is how the Big Dipper, the position of the Big Dipper in correlation to the Northern Star, which is our consistent, what we call the pole star, is oriented and connected in each time, and how the cup pivots. Let's say in the spring is upside down, that is like, or in the winter, it definitely has not even chance to scoop it up anything. But the summer, as you see the handle on the cup, it's already turning like almost like scooping. And by the time of the fall, when we receive the harvest, these four stars is like, that's what we're celebrating abundance. So very important pivotal points, and how it circles or orient itself in the sky creates this pattern that we also correlate to reverse swastika. So what do we observe? I think this is one of the most beautiful times when we also observe enormous abundance of absolute beauty and what Earth brings and celebrates. As you know, all the cut flowers in Feng Shui, you might know that correlates to the fire qi, and that's something I don't ever recommend, to leave the cut flowers in the bedrooms, right? So that's maybe not, that's kind of because of the space of the yin, this is for sleeping. And when you add the cut flowers into the bedroom, that might not really be a good manifestation of the synergy between the energies of the cut flowers and the bedroom. But to imposing into the living space, or also in your gardens will be the most important place for contemplation, for beauty, for celebration, for I guess the really immersing in the nature and its beauty to its max. So this says, the solstice invites us to step outside, breathe in the fresh summer air, and reveal in the beauty around us. It's perfect moment for picnics in the park, beach outings, twilight gatherings with friends and family. Exactly. When you are thinking about the harvest time, right? So what's happening in the fields right now, or sometimes depends where you are in the area, it's the time of the harvest of the winter crop. So the winter crop that was planted is being harvested, and the summer crop that we planted in the spring is going to be harvested later in the in late August or September. Again, depends where we are in the world. So summer solstice offers a moment to renew and reflection. This particular year, since we are in a year of a dragon, and as you remember, a year of the rabbit was all about purging, letting go, releasing, contemplating, having the proper closure, being free, freedom of any neglected aspect or negativity that you might have encompassed, basically writing forgiveness, releasing, that was most important part. So this time, as we are in a transition between the month of the dragon to the snake, to month of the snake. Month of the snake is also almost have a little bit of the glimpse of how the year of the snake might be for some of the characters. So be very, very mindful how and where you distribute your energy. This is the something is like since the winter crop, for example, as we are associating that we are right now harvesting something what we did in during the winter season, the same concept may apply energetically, that there's what we have initiated, or let's say we had the New Year's resolutions, or we have some kind of determined plans, or this is the time that it's a reality that we're facing and we're embracing it. Okay, so it's not too many changes, like the expectations are met based on your initiation of things in the beginning of the year. Okay. It says many cultures believe that the solstice energy can help cleanse the soul, ignite passions, and manifest dreams. So dream big. Will be my motto, especially for dragons. As long as you also are service to others is the most important part, to be reflective and to also embrace what are the opportunities, are collective opportunities we have right now in the world. So those who have a dragon sign in an hour or based in the year, it's very important to have the leadership position at heart, to have a leadership position kind of in front of your team, in front of your family, be the best example. But it's, again, not forgetting that you are at service to others. That is the mantra of the year for dragons. Something that I've been following and watching Jane 108 Academy. This is the gentleman. He's an Australian. You can Google it and you can find amazing materials about sacred geometry, about all sorts of mathematics and astrology, and I can say geomancy in general. And I have been following him and have integrated some of his courses also in my practice. And one of the latest programs that I watched, it was reinforcing the sacred geometry and observing. So as you are in your fields of flowers in the summer, I would like you to pay attention. How does the nature reveals? Like, for example, there's some of the symbology that embedded, and that's all is based on Fibonacci sequence. Those who don't know what exactly Fibonacci sequence is, you can actually create your own Fibonacci sequence and see how it works. Basically, what the rule is, when you take when you make a sum of the previous two numbers, okay, for example, 0 plus 1 is 1, then 1 plus 2 is 3, then 2 plus 3, okay, there's some mistake, it would be 5, then 5, so this 4 cannot be there. Sorry about that. So 3 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 8, 13, and so on. So then you create the model of the sacred geometry. And that you can find anywhere in so many aspects of nature. As you know, we are a reflection of nature. We are the nature. And sometimes when we look at the roots of the trees, it's like replicates the kind of our blood system of our lungs, and so on. traditional celebration. So I'm gonna be very fortunate again this year to be in my birth country in Latvia. And I do plan to stay awake all the way through night. And we have a beautiful event planned that on the 21st, on the 22nd, basically from the night of the 21st to 22nd, there is a sunrise midnight concert, basically at 3 in the morning, in a special open air stage. We're gonna have the opportunity to be part of the group to sing the power songs, and that's all related to praising the sun, the moon, the nature, the wind, all the kind of events or things that influence us in a larger scale. And this is why, to some extent, I find let's say studies of Taoism and studies of Taoism and nature very, very easy to absorb or integrate because of my cultural heritage of the Latvian, which just comes from the paganism. And a lot of the beliefs is directly comes intakes from the agricultural perspective. So. And there's some symbology that I also was happy to share. And I believe, like in our culture, we can use sign language and certain geometrical signs to enhance certain messages in a dream. And this is the same thing, very similar, is when we use calligraphy in Feng Shui. Those who practice the Asian culture might know the scrolls and certain writings, and I'm gonna share those about. We'll talk more about it, but this is a just example, like kind of expression of God. Dios, God is a supreme God in ancient Latvian mythology. And this is how in a writing we would like a peak of the sun or peak of the dot. So, and then I bring the Wu Wei Dao, that's in the Taoism, is also everything starts with the dot and then you swirl the big Dao. As well, the swastika, also in our culture, was the same fellowship of the Big Dipper and creating the same patterns. So as the cultures, or the morning star, guardian star, has been found in also in other, and this is a summer solstice deity, Saint John, like in such a drawing. How to make the most of the summer solstice, sunrise salutation. So you can, there's a lot of different practices. Obviously, we have adopted in a modern age, modern times, but something that we do, like blessing, clearing, cleaning prior summer solstice, is very important. I remember being a little girl, and in the countryside, we would bring a special green from the ponds, from the near ponds. There would be a special green plants, the pond plant, that we would break the leaves and we would throw it on the floor, and that would I guess that they were scattered, or the fleas would not come into the house. Like, being in a countryside, that was interesting. I mean, now I'm remembering, that was very interesting, some kind of ritualistic. We would weave the crowns for the men, for the young chi, would weave the crowns from the oak leaves, branches, and that would be the expressing the young energy, the masculine, the strong. The women would create the flower crowns, again, the more feminine side of it. This is a time to gather, to sing, to celebrate. So, whatever, I think that any way how you can connect to the nature, how you can express the nature, is the most important part. So go, do, travel, go places. This is the time to do so, okay? Regarding the chi notes, so this is a little bit more to correlate into the Taoist system. As you know, there's the cycles of the year based on the 12 animals and yin and yang and the 5 elements. But also within the system of, from the Taoist perspective, we also have a 24 chi notes. That sequence divides the year into these 24 chi nodes. And right now, we are in a chi node of the grain ripens, the chi node 9, and then we're going to be very closely, right, at the summer solstice. We're going to be transitioning to the chi node 10, which will be June 21st to July 5th, and then chi node 11. What does it mean? It's basically, since these slides will be available to you, and I give a chance and we have some more time, what it is like gives you a notion what's happening in the nature, what the rhythms of the nature expose. For example, grain is both the seed and a food. When grain ripens, develops its beard, food stores are renewed, and the seeds for next year are also secured. So it's basically, this is how the nature rejuvenates. So if we follow the same aspect what nature does, how can we embrace, how can we go with the quality of the energy that is available to us, what the nature shows? So food can be harvested, okay? So autumn can be also planted. Young becomes anew, father and awkwardly rejoice. The prince becomes worthy of the legacy of power. So very interesting. I know how many of us have made their like New Year's resolutions when the year began. And now when we created the resolution, that was initiation of the idea, of the thought, of the intention. And what happens now is the timeliness of that kind of proving this legacy, right? I think this is one of the best times to correlate how many graduations right now we're experiencing. Our children, our nephews, like our friends and relatives, they are stepping into the milestone, stepping into the big life. So like so timely, that is also reflective to the chi node. We are almost like putting the prince to become the future king, to be in charge, but it still has all the way to mature and to experience. This is where it's not recommended to be aggressive or pushy, right? It just is more like acknowledging, embracing, bringing to the light, allowing to shine, celebrating this milestone. So I think that's what the graduations are about. The following chi node, that's going to be more in June, July, is about summer, right, around the summer solstice. So it's like there's really not much we can do in regarding the planting and chewing. So this is more like what we do as a cultivating as for example, there's as a practitioners, you're cultivating your practice, cultivating your work, kind of finalizing things, and also preparing yourself for upcoming like kind of downtime. The month of the horse that we're coming up is very important that you finalize certain projects that you have started. Okay. Remember, the energy of the horse is about bringing the tangible results. Very important. That's something that you're manifesting. This is also a month of the competition. I would be very conscientious about it. The competition will be up in the air because it's the natural way to showing it off, but be very mindful that you don't also overextend yourself. So resting, relaxing, traveling, vacationing by the sea, exercising modestly, like not really too harsh. Do not get burned in the sun. Work with the rest directly in the sun middle. So all these aspects are very important. Treatments that have the nature of exercises may be done, amulets, purgatives may be applied. So I relate that we do create amulets, we do create talismans, and hopefully by the next, unless you are requiring some protection signs, I'll be happy to share those just privately message me, okay? And then will be the month of the chi node of the month of the goat. And this is the really, I would say this is kind of the first weakest, actually second weakest link of this year. So first weakest link was beginning of the year, during the month of the ox. And this time is more like, think about beautifying things. Think about more aesthetics, more um, slowing down mindfully is really, really recommended. This is we don't want to be too pushy because like at surviving at any cost is just will be not not getting in alignment with the season. Okay. The month of the goat, I would say almost like retreat. Retreat is the word for that timing. So regarding health, I will also I want to read it to you, but that's very important. During this node, hot wind continues to prevail and may cause dry lungs, cough, hemorrhoids, constipation, and fevers. It can aggravate existing chronic and constitutional heat conditions like insomnia, heart irregularities, low-grade systematic inflammations of the blood, eczema, dental. So the thing is, what is our conduct during the month of this midsummer, like July month, is also kind of traps the chi. If we are becoming too aggressive, too agitated, not rested, running and rushing and doing things or overworking, this is why our dis-ease gets trapped in our body and comes out as a form in October, November. And this might be the epidemic, like a cycle of time, and this is very common observed in the West, in a Western culture. So be mindful. So please take it easy, and that's all you need to do to take a good health check. So next part and I'll leave the questions and comments to the end. Next part, we will, based on the request of some of my clients, I did put together a little blur about the numbers, because so many people have been asking, is this a good number? Is not a good number? They've been sometimes summarizing their date of birth or year or house number and getting their own legit explanation. My answer to this is whatever you believe in it. Okay. This is there's just so many cultures and so many ways of interpreting in certain cultures. So I know one particular thing that I have noticed in my, like today, 1919, I was looking, okay, when my presentation starts. So 1919, or I had a whole sequence of 1111 repeatingly, like just by accident, just looking at my watch, and it would be 1111, or the date would be 1111. So, and I found it very interesting, some of the explanations, and you probably can Google it and find even more dramatic explanations on the repetition. So pay attention when you see repetition of sequence of any numbers, like 333 support, like reflect, change. The 555 is a change, 888 is a balance, or 999 is a release, 77 is a lock, protection. So and so on. So you can find what works for you, and maybe also journal, and then you start noticing the patterns. For example, for a very long time, and I still believe my lucky number was association with number 7. So a lot of things in my life, like beauty pageant number, my final number that I was stepping on a stage was number 7. Sometimes down the road when I there was associations with the 7 in many ways. So that's why one of the most common questions in Feng Shui that I have came across when people do, for example, real estate agents would not understand why the agents would complain or would say, not a good number, they would not buy a house if the number is 4. And this is very simple explanation, because in Mandarin, or Cantonese, I guess, the number 4, the sound number 4 and sound of pronouncing death are very close to the same sound, 字. And So that's kind of gives the notion or emotion that it gives like, oh, that's unlucky because it could be, you know, at the death house. So it doesn't have to be. Similar things is the number 13, right? In a Western culture, in number 13, we can correlate to maybe to the Last Supper. That's where the Jesus was betrayed by that 13th guest, you know, attending. So these are, again, be mindful if that is really symbolically relates to you, that is your personal interpretation. Remember, there's a saying there, my Sifu Jerry Allen Johnson used to say, I mean, still says and always emphasizes, imagination leads the mind, mind creates chi, and chi makes the 10,000 things to come to fruition. Okay. This is the one example that when I was traveling in China or Hong Kong, very commonly you will not see elevator numbers, either 4, 14, or 24, etc. It's just going to be, there's no such a floor even exists. And this is one of the panels of the elevator you can clearly see. And this particular case, they also, because it's international, like probably this was from Hong Kong, that even the number 13 is taking out, right, or not intimidating. I was also interesting to find that in India, 8 is considered unlucky because it's linked to the planet Saturn. So I'm going to investigate a little bit more about that. These beliefs stems from considerance of the astrological traditions influencing cultural perceptions and practices. So good number 8. I find that number 8 is when you take it in the sideways, it's like number infinity. But it's also considered lucky in many cultures, especially in Chinese culture, because its pronunciation is similar to word prosper or wealth, yeah, pronounced fa. Its shape, semantic shape, which can be endlessly divided, it's also without changing its form, also symbolizes balance and infinity. One other association is to hulu or gore in a Chinese medicine. So they only know maybe old images of the healers or Buddhist monks would work with a gore on their belt that they will carry the medicine. I had just recently a very interesting project, the Feng Shui project, and that was the Feng Shui project for helping to create the logo, to assist with the creating the logo and alignment in a business card. So what I want to share is that with Feng Shui, you can use Feng Shui to design the card. And this is the final variation for this particular client. And as you can see, can kind of give you some sequence and some secrets in it. So this particular, the logo itself, because it's for the doctor, for the healer, for the Taoist doctor, as also has a symbology of the clearing the spirit, and that's the part of the hulu. The moon and the sun, and the kind of trinity with the earth and a healing aspect. Then also gives the symbology, right? The cross with the longevity, how long the practice has been. The solid base of the card, 1/3, 2/3, again, proportion to this balancing out. So we want something that is stable, creating the earth of the card, like a platform, and then connectiveness. So this is like a connecting to the external environment, like through the website. And there's like the ownership of the person's ownership and the direct number. So when you do use Feng Shui, it's not only for the living space, but it's very, very useful tool to also help with your inspirations in business, as well as for a home private environment. And in general, there are 2 types of numbers. Okay, yin numbers, all the numbers are even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, ending with 0. Those are all even. Okay, those are yin, feminine by nature, because it's yin. What does it mean? It has more stability and groundiness. Okay, kind of contains the energy. When we have a yang numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, or any number that ends with the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are considered the yang qi numbers. Okay, so yin and yang. And they had that interplay. It's also interesting that we do apply the numbers goes in correlation of feng shui to directions. This particular example is a Tai Chi symbol in the middle, but this is the early heaven Bagua, where the earth is in the north, like down to earth, an ideal scenario, the heaven in the front. We have a fire in the east, and we have water in the west. So that was the dynamic. And as it pivotal point takes place, I don't know how many of you know, the middle line, the yan line, okay, any middle line of the trigram correlates to human chi, human, individual, okay? So if the first line on the bottom is correlates to earth chi, the middle line to the human chi, and the top line to the heaven chi, then the sequence of the dynamic to create the later heaven Bagua in Feng Shui is when energy of the person who is born came through the birth channel, which is like starts breathing in like real like heaven chi and manifesting it from mother's womb. So when that pivotal when that pivotal moment in a human life takes place, that also is a reversal and transitions from the early heaven Bagua to the later heaven Bagua. So this is some maybe a little bit advanced information, but you have been following me for so long. I think this is timely to start contemplating something that's more philosophical. The magic square, and this is maybe those who don't remember the sequence, you can maybe try to, without looking, try to organize the numbers in the 9 squares, that in every single part of its alignment, it would sum to 15. And if we fly the stars, this is something that we always do. So this should be the north and the fire. We'll fly the stars in certain pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is like pivoted little. This is the Bagua here on the bottom that we use in the flying stars. Let's say like when we correlate, this is the pattern of Saturn around the Earth. How it moves in a larger scale, universal scale. Uniform. So each row, column, and diagonal adds up to a same number. Historical significance. Magic square have appeared in Asian cultures, including Chinese, Indian, Islamic traditions. Mathematical properties. Magic square is studied by their interesting mathematical properties and are related to number theory and combinatories. And symbolism. Some traditions, magic square are believed to possess magic or protective properties. For example, the Lo Shu square, or that's a Lo Shu that we use in flying stars a lot, all the time, especially when we're flying the stars based on the current period and current year. So have fun with it. Maybe next time you will know by heart. Those who have met me, I've been doing the magic square as soon as I see where the house is sitting and facing, and I then correlating to other things. Then there's another concept of 5 blessings in Chinese, and that's expressed through the bats. So because when we say bat, when Chinese would say bat, it's also is the correlates to blessing. Okay, symbol of composed Chinese. So, and those 5 blessings, based on, and I love this association. Even the emperor, when I was in Beijing and Forbidden City, every single a window carving or door carving would include, or ceramics, as a reminder of the five blessing, which is the wealth, health, long life, um, over the virtues, love of virtues, and peaceful death. So I think that's what's kind of very natural way for us to experience and to kind of wish for, as being in our human body, as being in this journey on the planet Earth. It's very important. I learned this from, and thanks to Jamie. Since we are in Italy, I did not know, but I learned it here about why the 17 is bad luck in Italy. So I did not know that. So I thought 1-7 is actually very lucky because 1 + 7 is 8, and that's great. But apparently, when you write 17 in Roman numbers, it actually, if you read backwards, it means I have lived in Latin. And some consider this as a bad omen because it's like it's already predicting that the death is just around the corner. So just interesting. Good numbers like 9, right? 9, I've seen a lot of people do use that, especially in China. 9 is associated also with long lasting, and typically what we want to have a long lasting symbology. Of course, it's in a partnership, in the marriage. So it has a beautiful significance. Also double happiness. And I have had a really great success, especially there's one client that I have after being single and not so happy marriage, and looking for being ready for the new partnership. We integrated the double happiness symbol when we connected to the meaning of it, also integrated into this space, the 2 side lamps in the master bedroom. And as both side lamps, the main part had a double happiness symbol on the base of it. And believe it or not, the relationship was manifested, the new relationship was manifested, and everything is all happy after. Well, this is the presentation. I'm now opening myself to some questions, comments, and to communicate with all of us. And happy to see, if you like to unmute, please do so. I'm thrilled to be here to see you all and how the things are going. Please let me know. So, any questions, any comments, any news?
I have a question, Aelita.
Yes, Michelle?
So I know the flying star for this year is in the west, like you told us.
The 5. Yeah, the 5. So the year is 3, right? But the kind of, we call it misfortune, is in the west. Yes, the 5. So you want to be you're almost thinking that you have an emperor sitting there and watching what you're doing. So you want to be on your tippy toes.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes. But what
So
was
does
your
that
question?
so I guess my question is, does that mean like no feng shui adjustments in the west for this year?
Depends what scale. To what scale? I mean, if the neighbor is digging and making a lot of noise, you just want to send a lot of blessings. You just want to kind of like, you don't want to instigate any upsetness, right? So that's something to consider. And that's probably, since your house is facing south, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's your right hand side. Yeah, that would be on your no, it's your left hand side when I'm looking at the house, right? So
Hmm.
is there any issue with the neighbor?
No, but I recently just hung uh wind chime outside on the west.
No wind chime. No
Outside
wind
though.
chime
In
in the
the
west.
in
No wind
the no?
chime.
Okay.
Yeah, because it also attracts ghostly chi.
Oh, okay. Is that just for this year? No, don't put it in the west.
Yeah, just for this year.
Just
Usually,
this
it's not, yeah, just this year because that's could irritate. It's just you don't want to irritate. You don't want to have any kind of Unwanted, unwanted. Where you wanna do, you can put the wind chime maybe in the northeast, if you like. I can look at also the combination for 1-4, maybe combination where you want to study or be more alert. Okay. So that
Okay.
would be good to kind of chime in your spirit chi.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Yeah, but not in a west this year. And no wind chimes inside the house.
Right. Yeah, I don't anymore. You told me. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very careful. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Okay, from my side, thank you so much. It was
You're welcome. It's so
very
good to
good.
see you.
Yeah, I'm happy, even that it was a very busy day. I said, let's shut off everything and relax this moment. And
Good. I
I
hope
think
you.
it's like a, yeah, it's like a complement of
Oh,
what have been done. And so this is a very good moment to and especially because I'm having this trip to UK, and it's, oh, I can do that. Oh, probably I should have something, and then
yes.
it's a very nice workshop that what expected for this summer, what kind of energy we should
Embrace.
embrace. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
So
yeah,
this is very good.
July being very, yeah, like if as a big picture, and maybe you can also watch my January, February presentation, because I talked
Mhm.
more about the whole year, but
Okay.
as a reminder for the summer is whatever we did last month and this month, it was just like very dynamic to bring into fruition. And we don't, it's like almost if we have a courage, like a carry-on, right? With
Uh-huh.
the horses are running, horses that are bringing the energy momentum. We don't want to stop the momentum. We want to kind of feed into this momentum. And that's why this month and the following months are very important to bring the tangible results. For example, if you by any means are starting to, let's say, do the adjustments after they're doing the Feng Shui, right? After doing the presentation, you start like in the main areas to pivot things or plan it out to execute. Okay. It just has that momentum. But then take it easy in July. You know, if nothing, let's say something did not arrive and you have like, oh, I have to have this. Okay. Don't stress about it. Take it easy because the month of August is the month of the monkey. And that is in compliance. And that's a good month to bring things together to fruition in a very fast pace, energetically. So if you feel like month of July, you're going against the flow, basically, if you're going against your nature, that's depleting. That's also traps that chi quality that not be at ease. And that is why we have epidemic in November, because this uneasy chi is trapped in the lungs and it manifests itself as a phlegm in October, November as a flu. See, this is like based on the change. So there's our human conduct and how his body is operating, right, is a direct reflection of the kind of the sequence of time of nature, how the dance of between the heaven and earth. So
Yeah, and exactly. I think we have a lot of things that it was just keeping struggle in the beginning of the year, but it started to flow, especially from May
yeah, yeah,
to June. It's just a
yeah.
month, but I
Well,
think that
I
the energy is flowing more. The things start to happen now. So
exactly. It's like a flowers, the field. Finally, they
yeah,
are
but
opening up. They're
not with pressure, but by themselves. Now it's time
yeah,
to
yeah.
flourish. Yes.
And before the summer solstice, before the 21st, if you have anything more to write it out, to purge, to release, it's never too late. If there's something new that comes up and you need to kind of like flush it, like through fire, it's like this is the time. Okay. We want to have the very, very light bodies to really fly high and fast. Okay. It's a fast, it's this 20-year cycle, the cycle of period 9. It's fast moving, and it ordains the women. Women, we are in our role for next 20 years. We are wisdom collectors. That's true. We are wisdom collectors, and we're nourishing. Right now, we're almost like embracing that quality of chi, like we create, like cradling, we're nourishing, cradling, harvesting, protecting. We are, putting the extra shell, putting extra kind of core around it, because we're bringing this chi within next 2-3 years. It's going to be blossoming. That's going to be like expected for us to step our truth, to step our mission. So very important time to understand. We don't need to be men. We don't need to be aggressive, because aggression kills. Okay. So
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of a reminder to all of us that, yeah, be gentle with. So interesting. I'll share you something that I experienced today. I was walking in Florence, and it was super sunny. It was super beautiful morning. And I miss, what I do miss here is a small area, small gardens when you can stop. There are gardens, but those are like more private, or you go to the designated areas, right? So not enough greenery, like a lot of cobblestone and kind of presence of the buildings. And I feel the fragrance, and I could not believe it. There's these 2 humongous trees are blooming, and it's the Linderbelly, I know how it's in Latvian. It's super sweet smell, and we make tea, and we harvest when it flowers, and this tea is really good um for 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 fever, for like as a remedy for the fever. And I was just associating the sweetness of the smell and the flowering now in its heat, right? In around the midsummer, it's a cure to your fever when you are in a winter. Isn't that interesting? And the fragrance. So a feng shui is not, when we make adjustments, for example, it's not always about like, physical form. We can impact by giving the name. We can impact by creating the sound, okay? Because that's also vibration, sound, color, form, smell, or like, aroma, and also the spirit. So your spiritual connection and interpretation to that. So yes.
Yeah, it's good that you have those kind of moments from nothing, but remember something that is like a healing moment, because when you say that to you, if you are sick, just with fever in a bed, and then the tea is something so warm, so kind, and but this is like a moment that you were not expecting to have this kind of feeling, and then just happen. It's very good.
Yeah, so this is the beautiful time. We tend, like all the healers, or majority of the healers, harvest teas, like flower teas before summer solstice, because you want to capture the chi. Let's say if you have a mint in your garden, I would cut the mint in the midday, because that's the midday is like the peak of the summer, or peak of this day is like the sun is in its zenith, right? And the sun is on its peak, like at the highest potential of the energy of the sun. And then you also correlate to the time of the month of the June before the summer solstice. See how it's going to be extra sunny, extra energetically fuel, because you're using every single component of that correlates to the energy of the midday, of the sun, of the summer solstice. So you're maximizing it. Okay. So just experience that with your own. Also what I did, and I kind of, I love to inspire. When I walk the field, sometimes from the garden, there was the blooming poppy seeds, the poppy, the flower, the poppy that was the very okay. And so it was right in its end of the blossom, and it's kind of all the petals fell in my hands because I was like, I wanted to touch the kind of like, I leaned it, and then suddenly all the petals, because it was like at the end of its blooming, it fell in my hand. And what I did, I put it in a book, in a very thick book, that every single petal, and it dries. And when it dries, you can actually apply it to the, to the card, or you can write yourself. When it dries, you can also write a message, a note, or some kind of the inspiration, as a dream state. So use those things, be romantic, be creative. This is like, this is the time, be beautiful, because everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful, and love what you do. I love what I do. I'm very lucky.
Yes, thank you for this moment. So very inspiration. Yeah.
All right. So as a notion that, so you're going to have the copy of the recording to be viewed. If there's need additional information from the slides, all you need to do, just text me or private message me. And I will not gonna have the Feng Shui Connect until September 6th. So there's great news, because I am graduating and I'm gonna be in California. Super excited with the
Congratulations. Yeah.
and that's going to be another big step for, it's a good thing for all my clients and for all the people who I connect. And yeah, so that's why I don't want to rush and don't want to, but I'm super looking forward to see you all on Feng Shui Connect in September. I believe it's a September 6th or 7th. I have already scheduled the day. It's a very special day. It's my lucky number. And I am continuously consulting. So if there's anything that's a follow-up, and I know Tien we're going to have our meeting in California, right? So, Sarah, so that's a great big project. I'm super excited. We just finished a project with Simone in Portugal, and Michelle has been my longtime client for, I don't know, it's been a long time. So
yeah, 2018 is when we met.
this is just amazing. So, I really appreciate all the loyalty, and please let me know if there's anything more you would like to learn, to know, to experience, have questions. I'm happy to prepare the materials. I'm happy to share the wisdom and knowledge and play it out. So, yes. So I'm going to say buonanotte, and for you, I'm going to say buongiorno, right? Good morning or great rising, and go to the nature and celebrate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Aelita.
Love you, Aelita.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.